Hey guys, Brian from JB Custom Woodworking here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about a topic that's near and dear to the heart of every woodworker, and that's dust collection. In any wood shop, you're going to see dust on every surface, but the most important surface to keep the dust off is your lungs. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shop tour here, and I'm going to show you how I've connected some of my machines to dust collection and what a difference it's made. So just give me a sec while I set up the camera, and we'll take a closer look. Okay, so on machines like the Bosch miter saw, there's a dust connection that goes right from the saw, and it goes down into this shop vac here on the floor. And then up here on the wall, we have a special switch. And what this does is it means that as soon as you turn on the saw, the dust collector comes on, and the dust collector goes for a good 5 seconds after you've stopped the saw, just to pick up any residual dust. So that's how I've done it with the miter saw. Now, the worst machine in my shop for producing harmful dust is this Makita 4-inch belt sander. Now this, just for what it's worth, this is the best belt sander I've ever owned, and I really love this tool. And now that I've got it hooked up to a dust collector, it works even better. So the standard method of dust collection with the Makita is a bag that goes into the exhaust port right here. But I was finding that with the amount of sanding that I do, the bags are just filling up way too often, and it became a nuisance. So what I've done is I've adapted a hose onto the exhaust port, and the hose goes down onto this little Porter cable vacuum here. And I can fill up this vacuum in a couple of days with the amount of sanding that I do. But it also allows me to sand with just a small mask instead of a full respirator. And that's been a real blessing to me, because dust that comes off a belt sander is very fine. It's almost like flour consistency, and that's the kind of stuff that you have to be worried about. You don't necessarily have to worry about dust on a machine like the planer. This one produces chips, but it will make a tremendous mess if you don't have dust collection. So what I've got on this one is I've got a 3 horsepower General. Let me see if I get a better shot here. Oops, that's right. Yes, I've got a 3 horsepower General with this. Now, this works really well because the machine is sitting right beside the dust collector. The one thing I should probably do is shorten up the hose on this. And the reason I have it so long is because I work with a lot of long lumber in the shop, and I need to be able to move the planer quite a bit around, and the flexible hose makes a difference. Now, this General it's a 3 horse, it's an 1100 CFM. And it's dedicated to this machine, so it does a really nice job of picking it up. Now, the second dust collector that I have is this one, which is pretty much the same machine, but this one has a canister filter on it. And the canister filter allows a little bit better air filtration and a little bit more efficiency than the bag filters do. But the trick with the bags or with the canisters is you have to clean them on a regular basis. So this one has a crank handle on the side here. And as you turn the crank, there's an impeller that spins around the inside and basically rubs up against the pleats and knocks the dust down. But what I find really handy to do is to take compressed air, turn down the pressure a bit so it's not blasting at 90 psi, and turn the machine on and gently blow against the filter. And the idea is that if you can't see a cyclone inside the bag, then your upper filter is plugged and it's not doing its job. Now, on this new Harvey table saw that I have, it has a couple of features. First, it's got this overarm dust collector, and that's what goes on to the blade guard and the built-in dust collector. And I don't know if you can see this, but down at the bottom, there's the 4-inch hose that goes to the collector, but there's also the 2-inch hose that goes up to the overarm dust collection. And this seems to do a fairly reasonable job of picking up the dust. Now, as you can see from the amount of dust on my router table here, this system is not perfect. But one of the things I discovered on this was when you're replacing the bags on these dust collectors, if you're not careful and you don't have a tight seal, or you pinch the bag right here, what you'll get is, instead of having a really effective dust collection system, you now have an extremely efficient dust dispersal system, and it'll cover your entire shop in fine powder in just a few minutes. So whenever you change the bag on your dust collectors, be really careful that you don't see evidence of leakage around the bag. Now, one of the things that I used to do, and I know a lot of guys do this, is they will take a leaf blower and once in a while they'll open the big door to the shop and just blow all the dust out. Now, one caution I found on doing this, this can actually be quite dangerous. This is an electric leaf blower, and that's okay because it's grounded. But when I was using a gas-powered leaf blower in here, walking around in the dust cloud that I was creating, it was sending off sparks so big that you could actually see the sparks whenever I got close to any of the metal surfaces. So you really have to be careful with dust explosions, as they can be quite devastating. And using an electric powered blower seems to get rid of that because the circuit is grounded, whereas with gas or perhaps battery, you're not grounded. So just something to keep in mind. Now, the last piece I want to show you in my dust collection world is this, and you can tell by the fact that it says Delta on the side that it's actually a really old machine. This thing has been around for about almost 20 years now, and it just keeps on going. It's been a very good machine for me. I decided a long time ago to remove the paper filters and replace them with these washable ones. And when they get dirty, all I do is I take them outside, take the garden hose to them, leave them in the sun for a couple hours, and then they're clean enough to put back in. They're actually very easy to take out. You simply just lift up and pull down, and then you've got an inner felt filter that has to be taken out and given a cleaning once in a while. These ones obviously look like they're due for a cleaning. One of the things that I've done on the back of mine, and this is going to get a little noisy here, is put on this pink ribbon. And this is just a piece of survey tape, but watch what happens. Now, the idea behind that test is as long as the ribbon is flowing freely in the air, you've got good air movement through the machine. If the ribbon starts to go down like it is right now, then that means that your filter is plugged. So it's just a really low-tech way of keeping an eye on how your filters are doing. So basically, that's it in a nutshell for our little shop tour and our talk about dust collection. It's a really important thing to have. Let me just check one more thing for you. Not sure how I managed to forget this until the end, but of course the most important part of dust collection is the primary source, and that's the one that you wear. So RZ makes a really good filter mask. These ones I picked up at Lee Valley, and they have replacement cartridges. And if you're working with sprays or anything that has an odor to it, you can get the charcoal filters that go in here. This one seems to fit very nicely with two straps, one for over the back of the head and one for around the lower part of the neck. Dust collection is something that you should always be very careful with. It should be a part of everybody's shop because health and safety is the number one thing that we need to look at in the shop. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, put the comments down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day.